It's time now for the Athlete of the Week here on Mid-Minnesota Sports, and it's presented by Diamond Point and Sauk Center. And with us today is an athlete from Melrose. This is Sandra Sprenger, who is now a senior. You're a senior now.
Yeah.
Way to go. You've made it this far. Let's start out and tell us about your family and also where do you live?
Well, I live in Gray Eagle, which is about like 20 minutes from our school, and I live with my mom and my dad, who are Jenny and Bob, and then I also have an older brother who just graduated from NDSU named Brian, and I have a younger brother who is a freshman named Derek.
Okay, real good. What other activities do you get involved here at school?
Other than sports?
Yeah, well, sports too.
Well, I don't really do a whole lot of other activities, just mainly sports for me, so just softball and volleyball, and then if it comes to like coaches needing help or anything, I'll step in and help if they ever actually need it or anything.
Mm-hmm. Do you have, can you mention some favorite subjects in school?
Well, we don't really have, well, I'm older, so I don't really do gym anymore, but gym was probably one of my favorites, along with probably English class, as when Waddell was one of my teachers.
Okay. You know, I was thinking, I haven't asked an athlete of this. Do you work? Do you have a job?
Yeah, I actually am a bartender and a waitress most nights of the week, and yeah, it's kind of a lot juggling like between school, sports, and a job, but
Okay.
I manage.
Well, and where do you do that?
I work at the Rock Tavern, which is it's like right outside of Gray Eagle.
All right, so you're out there with Paul?
Yeah, Paul Ellering.
All right, how is he?
He's hanging in there.
All right. Well, everybody knows him, you know.
Yeah.
And so is it going okay out there?
Yeah, it's now that it's starting to get warmer out, so we're getting more people to come in, and it's starting to get really busy. I make some pretty good tips and stuff, so it's good.
All right, well, we'll stop out, give you a hard time. Is that okay?
I mean, yeah.
All right, very, very good. What about plans after high school?
After high school, I am going to be going to NDSU, and I am going to go into the nursing program and hopefully get into the NICU or into pediatrics.
How did you get that to choose there, I suppose, because your brother went there?
Yeah, my brother had a really big influence on me going there, and now he lives out there, so I'll get to see him more. And then NDSU has a really good nursing program, like one of the best ones, so that was pretty much the only college that I really wanted to apply to for the most part.
Let's talk about, too, how you got going with sports and the sports that you play. How did you choose the sports that you're in, and what about the other ones that you maybe didn't do?
Well, my older brother was in baseball, so I've always kind of been into that. So, like, I did softball since I was little, and there's, like, St. Rose softball and other sort of softball. And then I just started to love it a lot, so I just kept playing it. And then I've been playing volleyball since I was probably around 8, and a lot of my friends always did it, like Emily Cheetah, she graduated last year. Her and I have always been really close, and when it came to playing, we've always been together, and like she always pushed me to keep playing volleyball, so that's probably why it's one of my favorite sports that I do.
Well, before volleyball, let's talk more about softball, because you're the pitcher on the team, right?
Yeah.
Left-handed hitter here for Sandra Sprenger, the Melrose starting pitcher. And she throws a fastball and got her swinging, a strikeout. You know, how did you get going with that? And what I'd like to ask you is, to do pitching, to be a pitcher, do you, and in softball too, have a little more natural ability to kind of do it to begin with, to start out?
Yeah, well, before I pitched, I actually was playing like third or second base. It kind of just like threw me around or whatever. But when I started pitching, I was in 8th grade, I think, and it kind of just like came pretty natural, but like it took a lot, and I would go home and like do like other pitching drills because I wanted to like do really well and get moved up and stuff. So then when I was a freshman, they put me as one of the starting pitchers, and it was scary going from like such like below JV and stuff and up to varsity, but I don't know, it was really fun. I like pitching a lot.
So as you got to be doing that, then what were the differences to make you a better pitcher? Was it just getting stronger and more experienced at it, or how do you look at that?
I think the experience is a really big part of it, because like the more you do it, the better you're going to get, obviously, but you have to learn like certain kind of like ways in order to step further, or like do certain things in order to like get it to go faster, not just doing like it 24/7. You have to like build off of what you already know.
When you throw, are you trying to mix in some change-ups into other pitches, or what do you do out there?
We actually have had Waddell had one of his friends come in. We did some pitching clinics, and I learned a couple new pitches that I'm excited to throw because I'm actually getting pretty good at them.
Now, too, say your first time out, there were some walks out there.
Yeah.
When that happens, what do you do mentally to talk to yourself out there? Let me go inside your head. What happens at that point?
Well, I'm definitely somebody who gets down on myself super easily. So then I just look at Waddell and he'll like give me this look where like I need to shake it off and stuff. But I kind of just like if I walk somebody, I just like try to forget that it even happened and just my next pitch, I tell myself it has to be a strike, or that I'm gonna get taken out. Like that's what I tell myself because I just want to keep going and like not get taken out and like keep pushing myself.
And what's your approach then to pitching when you see a batter coming up and trying to mix in that changeup once in a while? Do you look at how maybe aggressive she is or where she's in the lineup, or how do you approach that?
Well, based on the lineup, like usually the best hitters are usually first. So then I'll do a couple different changeup pitches there, but like also based on how far where they're standing in the box or like how close they are to the base, then I'll pitch it either inside or outside more, or I'll do a changeup when the count is right, where they probably are going to swing, but then I can maybe confuse them a little bit.
As I see you play and pitch in softball and you have good velocity on your pitches, where does that come from? Because I see other girls that maybe be a little more physically bigger, taller, or what have you, okay?
Yeah.
And you're not necessarily that. But
Yeah.
that's not a bad thing either. But how do you get the velocity that you have?
Well, this year, like this season alone, I've been told that I use a lot of my arm, and that's what got me most of my speed. But like now, like to get even more of my speed, I use more of my hips in order to wrap my arm around faster and get the ball to get going faster also.
When you throw, do you hit your side, or where's your release point?
Yeah, I release right at my hip, and we do a lot of drills where of like flicking your wrist in order to like get used to releasing right at the right spot. But like based on the pitch you can release at different areas in order to like change up the speed or like how it's being pitched.
And again, being a pitcher, what about being mentally tough out there then? That's a big part of it, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You kind of feel like you have the whole team just like banking on you doing everything like perfectly. But like once you get in there, like for the first couple of pitches, it's really nerve-wracking. But when you get going and you start pitching good pitches, you just like get into a groove where like you're going to keep doing really well.
And being mentally tough, let's transition into volleyball then too, because what position do you play?
I was the libero.
And you have to be mentally strong, right?
Definitely being in that position.
And Little Falls gets it back up. They go with a middle hit. Sprenger digs it back out. Up ahead, here's Hinnenkamp, no hit. Free ball back to Little Falls. They'll try to set it up to the middle. A hit by Dorn, dug out by Sprenger. Melrose gets it up and over to Schmazing. She got blocked, but kept alive by Maddie Meyer. Maddie Meyer down and finishes it off. How did you get going with being the libero then?
Well, I used to be a setter, and then going into sophomore year, Waddell just randomly went practice, like the younger girls were done, asked me to come practice with the older girls, and I was really confused, like why he would do that. And then he's like, okay, go in the back. So I jumped in the back row and I started going, and I loved playing back row after that because, you don't get a whole lot of credit being a libero. It's mainly the hitters that get most of the credit and like the cheering, but when you get a really good dig and like you realize that you saved it, it's a really good feeling to know that you're one of the main reasons why the rallies and volleys keep going so long.
Well, let me say this. I like a good libero, and you're a good libero because you hang in there, you come up to meet the challenge, right? When you're out there playing and you see them setting it up on the other side, you cover a lot of ground out there. What are you going through? What are your reads on the other side? I do a lot, I'm usually the one doing a lot of the talking, like telling the hitters where they should be going or like the blockers where to be going. But when I watch the setter's hands and I'm able to read if they're going to go forwards or backwards for the most part, or if they're going to tip it, and then I'll tell the other team where they're going to be going with it. And then I watch their hitters, like I watch their hips if they're going to be going line across or if they're going to roll it. So I'm able to like allow the other team to like get a heads up on like where I believe it's going to go, and then I usually am able to get to the spot that I need to be. As you see some of the younger volleyball players coming up too that aren't going to be 6 feet tall, okay? There's a spot out there though for you, isn't there? Yeah, definitely. And so being the libero, to be a leader then, I see that you do a lot of talking. You kind of touched on that. What are some of the things that you're saying out there?
Like one of the main things I'm saying is I'm usually telling the blockers left, right, or open, so then they can know where they're going to be hitting the ball if they need to go cross line, or if the block is completely open. I'll be yelling open a lot. But I'm also telling the hitters also, or the blockers, line or like if the other hitters are going to be hitting at us, line or cross, so then they can adjust their block in order to stop the ball as best they could.
And I'll have to say what I get a kick out of, say, watching you play at that position, and you have some of these girls just ripping the ball. Do you ever get scared, or because you never back up, you just keep on going forward?
It is like when you first get out there and you see how big the other girls are compared to me being only 5'3". It is actually really scary, but I just don't show it on my face. I usually look like I'm really mad when I'm playing, even though I'm usually not. But I just think of it as the blockers are going to do their job, which they normally, like our Melrose blockers were really good players, and they always did their best to stop the ball. But even if they didn't, I would just think that they're going to, and then do my best just to let the ball hit my body in any sort of way to get the ball up.
Mm-hmm. You know, as you play now against the other teams that you play, it seems, especially Melrose Volleyball, and I see it in softball too, the female athletics here really kind of picking up. Do you kind of sense that too?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really cool too that volleyball is starting to become like a really big thing, like that we're actually like doing a lot better than previous years.
Well, because you know the teams that are out there, right?
Yeah.
And you see them, and here comes Sauk Center, here comes Albany, you know, you've seen these names a lot. But what's your attitude with this now and with the girls in general overall?
I think that we, as a Melrose team, have so much potential, and like we need to, like we're getting recognized more for how good we are. We go to big tournaments and stuff, and we're being recognized more. I think that we're a lot better and like underestimated sometimes more than we should be.
Well, I can see it starts in your head, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to have that kind of confidence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to go into every game like telling yourself that you're going to win and that you are going to play amazing, because if you don't do that, I mean, you're pretty much just not even going to try as hard as you know you can.
Well, which leads me into then your teammates. You've got some pretty good teammates from volleyball. I could see a player like yourself or like Brooklyn. You've always got a smile on your face. You're always enthused and just want to play, and it's good to see. But mention some of the teammates that you've had through the years here and with softball too, and just pretty much what they've meant to you as well.
Graduated years. The ones that have meant the most to me is probably Justine Reverman and Emily Cheetah, because those two have always been ones who like know if I do something wrong to like not say a whole bunch to me, like I've got to fix it, and they've always been like sisters, and I don't know, it's really cool. But these past couple years for both softball and volleyball, I have to say Avery Bitts has had a huge impact on me because, well, she's my catcher. She's been my catcher since last year and this year, and she's able to read me and like know how I'm going to react to certain things. And even for volleyball, like as a setter, she's an amazing player. Like she needs to get a lot more credit than she probably does too. But I don't know, also like probably like Tara and Kayla and Abby Hinnenkamp. A lot of these girls that are like a grade below me have also had huge impacts on the way I'm able to play, and they also know how to push me to be a stronger player, which is what I admire about them.
And do you then sense, because now you've mentioned some of the girls that are older than you, now the younger ones, do they kind of look at you and do you sense that and to try to be a leader in that way?
Yeah, I've actually had some of the younger girls that are volleyball players come up to me and literally ask if I would show them how to do certain things and like teach them how to do certain ways, and it kind of makes me feel good because like they're actually watching me, but it's cool to know that there's actually younger girls looking up to me based on like just the positions that I would be playing.
So overall, it's been pretty fun here at Melrose, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely gonna miss all these sports that I'm doing.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, you show up again and say hi to everybody, okay?
Yeah, I for sure will.
All right. Well, thank you, and good luck this softball season.
Thank you.
All right. That's Sandra Sprenger. She is the Athlete of the Week here, presented by Diamond Point in Sauk Center.